Philippines. During the course of any project, you're going to go through a lot of material. And here we'll talk about some of the hand tools and maybe get into some of the materials as well. But hand tools, I find them a little bit cheaper here. We got all this bunch here for $129.30 Canadian. So if we look at a one by one, there's a Lotus 8 meter tape measure, for $9.25. That's a fairly reliable one. That's a pair of safety glasses. You can go through them for $3 a piece. Grab them and save your eyesight. Then you've got the glasses along with a mask for $9 if you're working in dusty areas and demolition. And trowels, will go through a couple of them. $6.66 for trowels, a good hand trowel. And then, of course, demolition, you've got sledgehammers. These are 4-pound sledges with a fiberglass handle for $14. That'll last forever. So we got a couple of them for the guys, as well as some disassembly requiring screwdrivers, both slot heads and Phillips, for $15.70. And then we've got drills, masonry bit drills, 5 of them. Good solid drills for $7.15. And we're going to go through those for sure for access. Then these are a pair of pliers, snips, 5-inch professional combination pliers, and that's $9 Canadian. Now the next is a chalk line with a level and a chalk, and that's only $5. So you can set up those bricks. And then on the noisy equipment, you're going to need a pair of muffs for $9. Save your ears. And then we got a 10-inch crescent wrench, or actually an adjustable wrench, for $10.70 with a good cushion grip. So that's the total bill. Some items were discounted 10%. I don't know if it's because it was a senior or what, but or maybe it was in volume. Now, as for materials, you always got to be on your toes. These bricks were delivered, and I was paying premium for them, but they sneak in along with the quality stuff, the odd piece of crap that falls apart. Sure, they say they'll replace it, but you can see if you can just grab it and it falls apart in your hand like that, there's no way there's enough cement or gravel in that. It's a lot of mud and clay. So be careful when you're doing that. We are changing suppliers now, and we don't want to have to rely on the concrete between the blocks to hold the wall up and the rebar. It's nice to have the strength with the brick itself. But that being said, the bricks are not the same quality as they are in North America. You can recognize it because they're a browner color. The ones with more concrete and more gray, so you have to look out for that. And short of checking each batch by hand, one by one, you got to trust in your suppliers, and I don't know why a supplier would risk his reputation doing something like this. Now, as for the actual construction itself, holes are being punched everywhere through the house as we remove some of the weight and gain access for our new beams. You can see the front end of the house is ripped wide open now. The windows are gone, and the guys are laying out the scaffolding at the front for the balconies. And if you come around here, you can pretty well see that the other side of the building has been ripped wide open. They put up a safety net there to direct the debris to make sure it doesn't fall out on the street in somebody's car. And with that, they're combining both the demolition at the same time as construction. It's quite the juggling act of putting in beams as they're removing walls. And you can see here in the corner where the edge of the balcony will curve around. It'll stick up about a 1.2 meters. And this is looking in from the inside. The guy's trying out his new hammer. It's meant mainly for finer work, but anyway. So we got a couple of drills going throughout the house to remove all that old masonry. And if you come around here, you can see, looking out onto the street, just how much of the wall is missing now. So basically, we're removing a house inside of a house that we're building at the same time. Now you can see the supports for the roof decking of the floor decking, and you can see the rebar layouts for the beams on the outer perimeter. Guys are out there loving their work, saying hi. But as the thing falls apart, you got to be concerned for safety. Constant reminders to the guys to take care of themselves, because demolition is the most dangerous part of construction, bar none. So we're watching out for that. And then as they set that up, you can see it goes right to the corner. The beam will run along to the other end, around to the front of the house. You can see through the guys setting up the forms for the perimeter foundation. And here we look down through the last column being built where the stairwell is, and the guys are working steady, chipping away at what they got to do. Now you might ask, what's holding all this up? Basically, it's just the rebar that's left behind in the walls. That's a massive slab they got to watch out for. Now all of this has been done under a design build method, which works beautifully here in the Philippines. If you look at the chart, you'll see the traditional method where you have the project split up in terms of responsibility, with the architect drawing it, the construction firm hired to build it, and an engineer to deal with it for the specification aspect. But your project burden is weighing heavily upon the owner. When you look at the design build method, you hire a construction firm who oversees not only the subcontractors and suppliers, but also the architect and the engineer. That frees you up a lot in terms of your ability and flexibility. And they are responsible at the end of the day, not you. Well, you'll still be responsible, but you'll have someone who will take charge of the whole site. And that's the beauty of the Philippines, because there are a number of guys who are multi-skilled. The fellow that I've got hired has worked overseas in Qatar and other places in the Middle East. He has vast construction experience, and now he's home in the Philippines. And that relationship has been built up over the last 6-7 years. So it's not for everyone, but certainly if you're dealing with a foreign country and you don't know the laws and you don't know the engineering requirements, you'd be well advised to hire a project manager who can handle a design build operation. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please feel free to make some comments in the section below, and don't forget to join, to like,
subscribe.
You forgot share.
Good morning, Philippines.